If you wish to speak, please follow the instructions sent to you after you registered for this meeting. Any typed questions will be answered subsequent to this meeting and posted on the Foxfire webpage. So now we'll begin our presentation with Barry Murphy, Chair of the Strategic Planning Committee. Barry.
Thanks, Bill. As you can see on the slide on your screen currently, this is a view of the main campus from the golf course. Spend a couple minutes and look at this. Everything seems to fit. It has a nice flow to it. Doesn't seem like it's all crammed in. And we're going to go through each of these pieces that you see individually. On the back right, you can see the two-story wellness cart barn. Toward the front, the small building you can see is a halfway house. We're going to talk about the tennis and bocce courts that we're going to do, and also some of the improvements to the grill area. Just take a minute so you can see where everything fits. There's some outdoor seating out there. As I said, to me, it looks like it was made that way from the very beginning. It doesn't look like it was an afterthought for anything. All right, we're going to talk about each particular item on this screen. Let's, next slide. Let's start with the new cart barn. The cart barn we have is old. I think it's an original building, has shown its age. Donald has mentioned that we need to have some more space for carts, so we need to replace that cart barn anyway. It needs to be replaced. This new cart barn, we actually take the old cart barn down. We slide it about 17 feet diagonally toward Kingsway and the grill or the clubhouse. And as I say, it's 7,200 square feet. What we're going to do, one of the things we're going to do for extra space is we're going to put an extra 4 rows of block on the first floor, just in case we need more carts going forward. This will allow us to put lifts on the first floor and double up where we put the carts. We don't need the lifts in there right now, but downstream, if we do, at least we'll be capable, we'll have the capabilities of putting it in. We also will allow more space for bag storage. There's a couple restrooms in there for the staff. And one of the things that's happening is we're having fewer and fewer private carts at the club for, I guess, a multitude of reasons, but we're getting fewer carts, which means two things. One, we need more space for club cars because we'll have to buy some more, rent some more club carts. And we need more storage for bags because people are not going to want to, they're not going to be toting their bags back and forth on their carts anymore. So they need a place to store the bags. That's kind of the cart barn, very needed added structure. Next slide, please, Kathy. Health. Everyone's trying to stay healthy these days. As we get older, we spend more time with our health. We are a blue zone community, which means in general, as the whole community is committed to a healthy lifestyle. It's funny, I remember when I was younger, I'd hear all the old people say, all they talk about is food and what they eat. And now all we talk about is food and what we eat. So life moves on. So health is obviously a very important factor in all of our lives. And in order to do that, we think we need to have a better wellness center. Kathy? New wellness center. It would be 6,698 square feet. The current facility, if we call it that, it's pretty sad. Those of you who have been there, it was an afterthought. It really wasn't meant to be a fitness center to begin with. So we had some space and they put some machines in there. By positioning the cart barn or the wellness center above the cart barn, we don't use any more real estate. This is a significant factor. Our biggest resource, the most precious resource we have is dirt. We don't really have a lot of dirt around. So this way we don't use any. We can put a state-of-the-art fitness center on top of a cart barn and use zero real estate. There's going to be a lot of open room, a lot of open space up there, a lot of windows up there. We'll have a yoga room that's over 1,000 square feet. We'll get the people out of the dining room. They won't have to work out in the dining room anymore. They can work out in a specific room made for them. We'll put rehab equipment in there. Another thing that happens more and more as you get older, knees, hips, ankles, shoulders go. And you go to rehab, and you usually go to rehab about once a week. However, when you're not at the rehab session, you're supposed to do things the other 6 days or 4 or 5 of those days. And this will give you a place to go on campus, in your community, to get that workout done. We'll have an elevator in the building, just in case we have a problem in the fitness center, and we'll make sure the elevator is big enough to fit a gurney to get any emergencies from the 2nd floor down to the 1st floor. And there's also a fitness center that we have worked in upstairs, just in case we hire a full or part-time fitness instructor down the road. The space will be available for them. Kathy, could you show the picture of the building? That's what it looks like. Spend a few minutes. I'll talk a little bit about it, but as you can see, architecturally, I think is very pleasing. This front corner where the awnings are is where the elevator is. If you look down on the right side where the palm tree is, you can see the end of a porch there, and that porch goes all the way along that side of the building. And that's going to be completely windows up there. And what you're going to be doing when you're working out, either on the equipment or in your yoga classes, you're going to look down over the putting green and the first fairway. It'll be a very pleasant view. And once again, I like the looks of that building. Once again, it looks like it fits in with everything else. So spend a couple minutes, write down any questions you have. But we're very pleased with the results of this one. All right. Kathy, let's go to tennis. Tennis complex. Our courts are pretty old. I think they were done in the 80s. They need to be resurfaced. It's getting to be dangerous, actually. And what we're trying to do is update these courts. When we update the courts, updated courts call for 24 feet between them, and we currently have 12. So from a safety standpoint, the extra footage is significant. I also put a dividing fence between the two that'll keep balls from flying back and forth between those courts, and obviously create a very safe and enjoyable tennis environment. Can we take a look at the tennis court complex? Okay, this is basically the same slide that we had from the beginning, but if you pay attention to the tennis part of it, you can see the dividing fences between the courts. There's also shade areas there. Obviously, we haven't moved the tennis courts anywhere. They're basically in the same location, but they have additional fencing and shade area. Okay, bocce. Bocce courts. We currently have temporary bocce courts, which are, it's almost a misnomer. They're not courts, they're just white paint on grass, very bumpy. But even at that situation, with them as poorly constructed as they are, we have 350 people playing the thing on 2 courts. We would do the new courts according to league standards. They have interclub bocce leagues, just like we have interclub tennis and interclub golf, and these would be compliant with those rules. Bocce, as everyone knows, everyone can play it, from little kids to old people. It's a great family activity, and where we're putting the bocce courts, Arthur Hills has assured us that it's safe from a incoming golf ball problem. So we're far enough from red 9 that will not be a problem. It's the 3rd most popular sport in the world, which is something I just found out when I was doing this. And when the bocce courts aren't in use, we thought we could play cornhole. You can buy a couple cornhole boards, which are not very expensive. We'll have storage, which I'll get into a little bit later, but they can be placed right on the bocce courts. Let's see the rendering. That's the rendering of the bocce courts. Now, I want to spend a little time talking about the building that you see there, which we're going to get into in specifics next, which is the halfway house. But you can see the shade areas at the end of the bocce courts. There'll be those at both ends with seating. You can see the wall down the right side. That helps protect golf balls, if there are any coming over, from bouncing into the bocce courts. If you look at the halfway house, as I say, this is really the best picture we have of it. You can see the bar area there that's facing toward the bocce courts. Around to the left, there's another bar area that faces toward the tennis courts. And once again, I think architecturally it all fits together. Let's talk about the halfway house. It'll be 1,635 square feet. It's going to service bocce courts, tennis courts, and golfers. And when we're either making a turn or finishing up, we only need to have one person staff the halfway house. So how do you increase some efficiencies of our food and beverage staff? The tennis pro office will be part of that space, as well as 2 additional restrooms. We'll have storage space for bocce, tennis, and cornhole boards. And perhaps the most important thing, or one of the more important things, as most people are aware, our kitchen is woefully inadequate from a size standpoint. And this will allow us, by taking the tennis pro out of the clubhouse and by taking the halfway portion out of the clubhouse, to add space that we can move the square footage around in the clubhouse and increase the kitchen. It's kind of like the wellness center on top of the cart barn. It's a double duty thing. This allows us to increase the kitchen space, which we really need, as the cart barn allowed us to put a wellness center in that didn't take up any real estate. Next picture. And once again, you can see where the halfway house fits. It's right between the grill or the clubhouse and the bocce and tennis courts. You can see the casual seating that's around there. The only thing you don't see on that slide is hidden by the banner is the wellness center and cart barn. But you can I think this gives you a very good picture of what we're trying to accomplish. All right, Kathy, next slide, please. Casual seating benefits. It's just going to give us a nice open place to sit down with our friends in the evening. During the winters, if we have a nice warm meeting or sit out there, if it gets chilly, we're going to have some fire pits out there. We're going to enjoy our conversation and drinks with friends. We'll grab something from the halfway house. And I understand this area is not supposed to be a full service food area. It's a place where you grab a drink, the halfway house, you grab some bar food, you come back and you sit down with your friends and enjoy some conversation. We're not going to have Angel and Anna out there waiting on tables. That's not the idea of this thing. We're going to have a privacy wall that has a water feature in it, which I'll show you a picture of in a minute, which likes, we're going to have very quick menu options. It's basically going to be bar food. But Donald has a line on a movable pizza oven. That could be fun. So if we could go and show the next slide on what the casual seating would actually look like, what our vision of it is anyway. So it's all pavers. The chairs, the soft chairs down the left side have fire pits. The right side are chairs with actual tables around them. You can see the wall in the background. That's a privacy wall. It separates this casual seating area from the parking lot. Keep down the noise. It also just gives you a nice little cozy courtyard atmosphere. Looks a little different. Okay, next slide. Grill room. We're going to enlarge the western side, the western deck, to allow 2 rows of tables. We're going to move the bar back to the northwest corner of the grill room, which is where I understand is before my time, but I understand it was there at one point, and for some reason they moved it back. It makes more sense to have it in the corner, we think. You consider the bar, you can look out over the golf course. It's a great view. Right now, everybody sits at the bar, looks into a wall. Dave has a great view, but the people that are sitting at the bar really don't have a great view. And the whole corner would basically be windows, which would open up and allow bar service from both inside and outside. And we'll take a look at that. Next slide shows you what it looks like from the outside. Next slide. That's a look from the outside. You can see the bar, you can see the bar stools around it. That's 2 rows of seating on the right. The roof, we're contemplating putting in a Renson roof. That's what we're thinking about, and that's what's illustrated there. And the way this roof works, those slats open and close. So when they have a little bit of rain, or if you have too much sun, or whatever the deal is, you can close those up. When it's a nice evening, you want to have more of an outdoor feel, you can open them up. So we haven't made a decision on whether we're going to propose that or not, but that's something we're definitely looking at. I have some TVs there. You even have a couple TVs facing the outside. It's just a very nice area to relax after a game, have dinner, whatever you want to do. And those tables underneath are full service. Those are diners like what we have now. The ones under the roof would still be for full service food areas. So take a second look at that one. All right, Kathy, let's look at the next one, which is an inside picture of the grill, which I think is incredible. Just looking out of the bar, you can look down over the golf course. It's opened up, very light in areas. They say you got the TVs. Really a place you can be proud of when you bring people in. It's just a very nice presentation, the way it's presented. Take a look at that for a couple of minutes. Hopefully y'all like that. Next slide, please. Okay, here it is looking at it from Kingsway. You have the Cart Barn, Wellness Center, casual seating, halfway house, bocce, tennis, things we've all talked about. And once again, I think it looks like it was there. I mean, it doesn't look like it was crammed in at the end. And I'd like to leave you with, as I'm finishing up my talk about it, just a few things. One, the whole idea behind this, or one of the main ideas behind this program, is it's something for everyone. We have different interests in this community. We have diverse people. People like to do different things. This program gives everybody something, which is the whole idea of a community. Everyone should get something out of a program. Secondly, everything I talked about today, we don't have to open up the PUD. The PUD doesn't have to get opened up for anything that we went over this morning. So that to me is a huge thing. And finally, when you think about what we're doing, people have talked to me about, we don't want to add all these amenities or doing all this stuff. We're not really adding amenities. We're getting the amenities we have up to standard. The amenities we have are pretty sad at the moment, but we have them. I mean, we have a wellness center, we have bocce courts. Those are the main things that we're talking about. So we're not really making big additions. We're just getting things up to, as I said, up to standard, which is where I think we need to be. Take a couple minutes, take a look at that, see what you feel about it. I mean, I keep looking. It's hard for me to, obviously I help put the thing together, but it's hard for me to say what's not good on that. You can see on the halfway, or on the Cart Barn rather, you can see the side, the left side where the porch is. It runs all the way down the front, and it looks over, as I said, the putting green and the first green, or the putting green and the first fairway. You can see the tennis courts with the fences between the shade areas, the bocce courts. You can see the shade at both ends on this picture. You see the privacy wall where the casual seating is. Anyway, hopefully it meets, this gives something for everyone who's looking today has sees something on there that they like. Okay, that really closes up my part of the program. The next